Hello, everyone. Thanks. Got a fan. Wow. 1980s big hair rock band kudos. I did play bass. I'm going to speak briefly today about some lessons learned while doing some volunteer work over in South Africa with the Zulus. And hopefully you can take away some things that will help you with your leadership that helped me. So one of the first things that I learned is, you've got to go where the problem's at. We call it go to the Gemba and lean. But you can't really help from here in America the problem that was happening in the Zulu communities. Medical relief, did some training, AIDS victims. AIDS, it was a big epidemic over there. And so cultures are something that take a lot of time to develop and ingrain, and it's just their known ways. But you can't go over there without being transparent, without the right motive. You can see there's no... the faces that here say it all. There's nothing hidden here. You have to build trust. And in order to build trust, you have to be willing to go where they're at. You have to be willing to do what they're doing. I have this saying, you can't fight a dog for its bones. So whatever someone's hanging on to that they really believe in, the way they get them to adopt something new is find something better. And really, you can't just whiteboard it. You can't show a picture of a steak to a dog. You have to actually give the steak. So technology can be very intimidating. It's very similar. If they're using a hammer and saw to build and that's what they know, you praise them for that. Wow, you're doing a really good job with that hammer and saw. Well, check this out. And you demonstrate the nail gun, and they'll adopt it. If it's better, if it can do a better job than what they're used to. And so I think CIOs have the same challenge. Getting people to adopt new technology sometimes can be intimidating. People are afraid of change. They're afraid of the unknown. So this is one of the things that I learned with leadership over here is that, what is the problem? Get to the root cause of it. One of the issues over there is they have this myth that if you have AIDS, you rape a virgin, you get rid of it. All it does is spread it. So visualizing that with posters and billboards, they do that in the big cities. We were out in some of the places where they didn't have that luxury. So what we did, get a positive message. Use their heroes to help them with that message. And so Nelson Mandela, being a victim as Zulus for all those years under apartheid, and then to say, hey, you wouldn't want to make someone else a victim. Why would you do that, right? Sometimes the issue, though, is the morale. It's the living conditions. It's the environment. Like the fifth floor in the state office building in Juneau, just a side joke. And so if you can't change the culture of the environment, sometimes people just can't get free of the current situation they're in. So include them in the future. Include them in the new project or the new vision. They're best suited to help design their future and include them in the work. So a lot of the things I learned about leading over there was just get them included in it. Leaders do have to create the big picture vision. I worked for 7 years in a hospital campus, and I used to talk to the IT staff and say, why is your job relevant? What do you do? I'm a programmer. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, we're healthcare providers. We're providing healthcare to somebody, so you're in that value stream. So when people can really see and plug into a bigger picture and feel they're a part of something, it really helps move the momentum. And so, leaders have to create a vision. They have to really create the big picture, but it has to be something that you can actually take to them and execute. If you can't execute it, I have this saying, you can't get warmed by a painted fire. Someone has to build the fire. The picture isn't going to do any good. And so execution is something that the picture could be really big, has to be incremental. It has to be pieces of advancement that you can actually take and share. And then find people who are really good at helping move the ball and execute, good managers. If you're a leader and you're creating the strategy, find those in your staff that can really help move that ball, get those incremental changes to happen, and it really will take off. So sometimes the issue, though, is you're dealing with entitlement. People that are so entitled in their culture, they don't understand. So get to the root cause. Find, understand why. This is my grandson, Noah. He's entitled. Purpose and reward. And sometimes that's what it's what we're talking about. And then how do you measure success? Qualitatively, over there with the Zulus, we've seen a noticeable change in their whole culture, but also quantitatively, the AIDS cases were going down. Make your metrics simple. How you measure performance to your staff, make it simple. Outcomes, based on outcomes and behavioral change. A lot of times we get in the weeds with metrics that aren't even meaningful, and we don't have a really good way of measuring outcomes and behavior. And so measurement systems are important in that they show you progress. And so here's the takeaways I want to leave with you today. Check your motive and objective. Why are you doing what you're doing? Demonstrate the better way. You got to create the big picture, but you also have to be able to execute that. So deliver and measure on your value. I have this little saying that if your work or your actions speak for themselves, don't interrupt. It's a good thought, right? Well, that's my little thought for today. Hopefully you can take something away from here as a leadership example from these lessons I learned over in Africa. And God bless you all. Thank you.